Grossi Posse Packer Nation. Welcome to another episode of, hold on.
We got it.
Hold on. We're all waiting with bated breath. The Grossi and Grant Pack Rant. That's right, people.
Boom. That's it.
That's it. That's it. That's
That's
this
it.
week's. It was
That
tough.
is the winner. This was a humdinger. I like that phrase. This week was you guys got after it, and I'm pretty sure that once I started talking gifts, a little bit more on the line.
Like, okay, all right.
It became a little bit more interesting. You know, I enriched the pot a little bit. Yeah, I was impressed with this week.
They stepped up their game.
There were a lot of good ones that didn't win, but we want to say, put your foot back in, throw it back in next week. Always, because a lot of you were close, very, very close, and I wouldn't be surprised if some of you who came in this week and either reached out to Tom or me myself don't win another week. So, yeah.
Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure
yes.
Ways to contact.
And you have to be subscribed. So for that young person who sent a great one, a really great one,
it's gone now.
Subscribe, and then come back in. You have to be subscribed, and you gotta put it in. So
this week's winner is John Gosnell. So we'll be reaching out, buddy. Don't you worry. We'll get the info. We'll get everything, and you're gonna get that that's autograph ball. Boom! Congratulations, brother. Done. That's it. Oh, and by the way, I'm Tom Grossi.
and I'm Ryan Grant.
That's it.
Sometimes.
And to get things started, Ryan, we were setting up the audio, we were setting up the video, and you're like, hold on, let me make myself look beautiful, right? And I was like, Ryan, you already are beautiful, but you were gone by the time I said it. And I opened my eyes because I was just in a flurry of doing things, and I saw a Cheesehead TV shirt.
You're right.
On the Grossi and Grant Pack Rant. I mean, does the name not mean anything to you, Ryan? What's going on? We're plugging other people's pods.
Just to speak to the social climate right now, I'm not partisan. I don't like to pick sides outside of Packers. Like, I'm definitely when it comes to Packers. But Aaron, Cheesehead TV has done well by me. Yeah, so I'm an advocate of competition being healthy.
I see.
Not to say that they're any competition of ours.
I mean,
because we know what we bring to the table, we know our value, so we're not threatened by Cheesehead TV, and it's
I'm just saying. I'm just saying, folks. It is. What it is.
Yeah, you know what? Get me one of those, and I'll wear that all the time.
Done.
Listen, I'm one of those. Listen, I love everything free.
Done.
I also can be swayed.
I can be bribed. 100%.
I can be swayed by product. Okay. I'm one of those folks.
All right, we'll get some Grossi Posse merch out there. We'll get some Packcast merch out there. We'll.
Shouts to Cheesehead. They do good work. Aaron, I love you.
They do.
You're my guy. Cool.
That's it. Okay. Good. Aaron, we're never speaking again. It's never happening. Okay, 100%. Okay, so Mr. Ryan Grant, we came off a bye week, right? It was all quiet on the Western Front in terms of Green Bay Packers. A lot of crazy things happened. The Bears, look at the Bears beating the Tampa Bay.
Look at them. Look at them.
Look at those Bears go. They're so cute, those little guys.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought? That's it.
Not me.
No.
That was my Paul Rudd reference right there.
Yeah, no, I got you. I saw that Hot Ones episode. We're just plugging every other podcast.
There you go. Exactly.
That's it. Yeah, no, I think the Bears pulled off the W. That's it. The Lions had a bye. The Vikings, they wish they had a bye, but they lost again in heartbreaking fashion, which is always just
that was rough. Man, that was rough. And not that I didn't want them to win, but that was rough. Jeez Louise.
Could not be happier. I mean, here's the thing. I was streaming that game, and I'm watching it, and I'm like, I hate both of these teams so very much that whoever loses, I'll be okay with it. Like,
yeah.
Totally fine.
I wanted the Vikings to lose. I just in that moment became like a competitor, and I'm like,
yeah.
As a competitor, I know that is like so frustrating.
I know.
So, but it is what it is. It's the Vikings, and they got some stuff they got to work out.
Yep. I mean, they got lots of things they need to work out, but so they continue to falter. And so, let's start off with that today. The Chicago Bears are sitting at 4-1, right? They beat the Buccaneers. Listen, it wasn't pretty. Nick Foles didn't have a great game until the second half, but it wasn't pretty, but they got it done. The defense looked good. They got it done. And a lot of talk last year about the Packers winning ugly and, going 13-3 and, weren't taken seriously. I feel like if we're saying that the Green Bay Packers, a W is a W, you kind of have to apply the same kind of logic to the Bears. It doesn't matter how they got there because they're winning football games.
I agree. Listen, like I said, week to week, I'll say every week, it's a lot easier to get one a win, to go into work. So they have some things that they can probably feel really, really good about, of course, that defense. And how they're getting after and putting their team in a position to always win, plain and simple. When they do their self-scout, and self-correction tape, they're going to realize they need a lot more consistency in offense, and that they need to work on things. So they're not putting together the type of body of work that they want to go into, and continue to build on season to season, but they're winning. They're finding ways to win. And I tell you, in the league, that is one of the most invaluable things, because there are so many teams that are so close, that have all the pieces, that can't find a way to finish games. And there's something to that. So it's a little rough with inconsistency in QB. We'll see. This was Nick's first start, right? Yeah. So we'll actually see. I do expect him to get a little more rhythm and get better, but we'll see. So I'm not mad at them. Bringing a little competition, make it a little fun.
Exactly. You don't want it to be
make it entertaining for the NFC. A little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I hear it. And it's crazy because you and I touched on this last week and talking about like who realistically is competition in the NFC for the Green Bay Packers right now. Yeah. I think they're playing competition this Sunday night because I think the Buccaneers are, as we talked about, are only going to get better as they go along. Yeah. You have a team like the Seattle Seahawks. You have that, right? They're unfortunately in that conversation.
What's the beef with the Seahawks?
Oh, you don't know?
No, I don't know.
What's Ryan.
Well, outside of, I want meant like, what's your personal beef? I know the call.
Okay, so let's talk about it, Ryan. Okay, first.
Okay, let's dig in. Come on now. This is,
we promised in the teaser that we would get into deep psychological trauma.
I'm about to say that's what I study in school. So here we go. I'm ready. I'm here for you.
Okay.
I'm here for you. I'm present.
It was a cold night in 2012 when the Fail Mary happened. Okay, I had never been so enraged by a football game than on that night. I've been sad. I've been upset before. Yeah. Never enraged. That was full-blown enraged. Okay. Yeah. So there was that. And I was just like, okay. And it was just the cockiness of, oh no, we caught the ball. Oh yeah, no, we won that. I was just like
blatant, just like
it didn't sit right for me.
Cognitive dissonance, just a total like what? That doesn't make any
gone. So that was number one.
Okay.
Then you have the NFC Championship game, which just is a punch right to the gonads.
That was heart-wrenching.
That was a deep, morose feeling that has lingered in my soul, and I would argue is why I can never love again. Like that might be
13 or 14.
It was the 2014, but technically it took place in 2015.
Got you. Yeah.
Yes. So that one was horrific. That one was really, really bad. And then on top of that, knowing my disdain for Golden Tate, because of course the receiver of the Hail Mary, then goes to the Lions. So I'm just like, wow, even worse. Then goes to the Giants, and I'm like, whoa, even worse. But it gets even better. For when I hit 100K, my fans surprised me by going on the internet and paying Golden Tate $250 to give me a cameo, celebrating not only 100K, but wishing me a happy birthday.
You know what? Listen.
you put that all together, Ryan, and it's deep. It's real deep.
It is. But and it's funny they went heavy. Like I don't know. Did we call these your fans?
These are the fans with deep psychological trauma, and it's research. Like,
but you know what? They actually, I'm not mad at that because they recognize that the cure is in the pain. So for you, addressing your situation with Golden, and Golden happens to be a fellow Golden Domer with me. And he's a great dude. So I might have to reach out to Golden as well. We might have to have a sit down.
No, Ryan, I'm not ready.
We might have to have an intervention.
Ryan, I'm not ready. I
don't even know if Golden recognizes his impact on you.
No, he does not.
Actually, I'm pretty sure he's helped you become a better man.
You know what? All right, hold on. Let's get. Hold on. Okay.
There you go.
Please explain to me how Golden Tate has made me a better fan.
Because he's forced you, your anger, and your contentment with him. He's forced you to actually work through your frustrations with a team that he's not even a part of anymore. He's nothing. Like clearly, he's not even actually on the team. They don't even pay him anymore. So he is literally forcing you to work through your frustrations and your agitation with Seattle, which I understand. Like, yeah, it was frustrating. Bill Murray's frustrating, like about as frustrating as you can get. Like literally, like I don't think about as frustrating as you can get, especially in the response like, get out of here. I was getting ready. Inappropriate language. The gut-wrenching aspect of the NFC Championship, I've experienced that before, but that's not Seattle. You know what I mean? That's more of like, I'm hurt. So angry people are hurt people. And you want to be angry, so you want to put it on the Seahawks. When yes, at the end of the day, like I said, because I'm an advocate of competition, I like the fact the Seahawks are doing well. Let them do well. Let them do as well as they want to do. Let Russell be the most profound public motivational speaker in the world, because he is. Let him be a phenomenal quarterback. Let him be that.
I like Russell Wilson. I want that for the record. I do like Russell. He does amazing stuff for the community. Like,
yeah, he's the truth. He's the truth.
100%.
Let him be. Let them be the truth of the West. And then when they meet us, and then when they have to step in, meet us. Yes, it's lunch city. We eat their lunch all the time, and we let them know, oh, you're doing so well, just not well enough. Insane.
Okay, here's my response to that entire soliloquy. If you are telling me that the first guest that we get on this show, Golden,
I won't do that. We
definitely Tate. And because listen, there were some names in there that was one of the names of the podcast was the Rodgers rankings. It was a long one. The Rodgers rankings, just not with Aaron Rodgers, ... yet. So you're telling me.
You know what? I'm not mad at that.
I can't even be mad. I can't even be mad.
Foreshadowing.
But here's what I'm saying. If like we're talking about, oh yeah, we're gonna get some, and Golden Tate, is gonna be coming on here, my literal personal demon that hovers.
Actually,
that hovers over. And you know what? You know what's even worse?
And he's not far from you.
No, he's not. Listen, I will say he got punched in the face. What was that, 2 weeks ago by like Jalen Ramsey? Like that because they got into a fight, and I was just like, huh. like my spider sense went off, and I was just like, something's happened. I don't know what it is.
You don't know. In the middle of the day, you were like, why do I feel like this? I just want to.
My nipples are hard. It's weird. Like it was just a weird sensation. But I gotta say, one, that would make for incredible television. But two, I'm not responsible for anything that I may or may not say. Like Golden Tate is close enough to me that where he could drive to my house and harm me because he is a bigger man than I am. But
yes. And because he's a bigger man than you, I doubt he would actually harm you.
Perfect. Okay. So,
when I mean bigger, I mean clearly character-wise, he's a bigger man.
Oh, you know what? Okay. No, now we're done. This is going so well. Well, folks, 5 weeks of the Grossi Grant Pack rant. It's been great. It's been wonderful.
Only because you said that he got punched in the face and you felt
What I say I felt. I was very careful with my words. I just said I felt a feeling. I didn't say it was joy. I didn't say it was glee. I just said my nipples got hard. That's all I said. You can go back and rewind the tape.
Okay, you're right. Okay.
Yeah. I would never celebrate him getting punched in the face. But what I'm saying is when it happened, I just had a feeling. It was weird. I didn't say it was a good feeling. I didn't say it was a bad feeling. It was just a feeling.
Just awareness. Yes. I like awareness.
I feel like I'm just very spiritually connected with Golden Tate. And that's what frustrates me because it's just.
You guys are spiritually tethered.
It is. It's a tether. And I've been trying to cut it for years, but it's still there. He follows me. It's there. Whether it's within the division. And now
where's the lesson? Because you haven't learned the lesson yet, Tom. Where's the lesson?
I mean, and the worst thing is if you go to Golden Tate's Cameo page right now, it's highlighted under birthday wishes. It's my birthday wish.
That's one birthday wish. It's my birthday wish. I actually think that's clever. Whoever put that together as the fans.
Yeah, they're great. They're great. Don't enable them. Don't enable them. Nope. Don't give them that. No, it's.
Just a little shout out. My Cameo is not that expensive. Because it was $250. I think my Cameo was like $49.99, just a little cheaper.
Listen, don't you devalue? Actually, you know what? No.
No, I'm not devaluing.
You said that he was a bigger man. I forgot for a second, but now we're right back again. Okay. You think you know a guy. You think you know a guy because you do an unnamed podcast for 5 weeks, but apparently not. Sorry, believe. Just not
we need to figure out whether or not this is going to work, this relationship.
There's a lot, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to first Golden Tate. I don't know if I'm going to be able to trust again. I lost everything with the refs, with the replacement refs. I lost everything. So that's why I hate Seattle. And again, I know it's not Seattle, but that's why I hate Seattle.
That's why you hate. Yes, they what they represent. It's the representation.
It's just Starbucks and bad calls. That's what it is. That's what Seattle is. I've never been to Seattle. I hear it rains a lot, and it's because
it does rain a lot, but Seattle's gorgeous. I will say.
You know what? Folks? Here's what you could do for next week. When you're coming up with names for the podcast, why not just be Ryan Grant and the Seattle Seahawks featuring maybe Tom Grossi? You know what?
You guys might want to come with a new guest because clearly
we could get Pete Carroll on here. Let's get Marshawn Lynch on here. He'll say 3 words. We'll get the whole crew. We'll get
everybody.
That's it.
I think you're onto something.
Just bring Seahawks players on every single week, and I just constantly am internally screaming as I try to conduct an interview or conversation.
Exactly.
And Ryan's just
I'm all about growth, and I think that for you, Tom, I want you to be in such a space that no matter who you interview, you can look at them and say, "Oh, I know my squad. I know where I stand." There you go. If that's what you got to do, that's what you got to do. Oh, now we're going into coping mechanisms. All right, let's get back.
Childhood.
Let's get back to this important situation coming next week.
So yeah, I mean, do you want which one you want to talk about? You want to talk about the Packers game or who's Seattle playing next week?
I don't know because I don't follow them.
Oh, are you sure?
I don't even follow them.
Ryan?
I only follow the Pack.
They're playing the Cardinals. It's a battle of the birds. I mean, that sounds fascinating. I mean, are you sure? Well, Kyler Murray?
Not more fascinating than this matchup with the 2 QBs that we're about to have. Aaron would be like, yeah, Ryan's able to diversify, I think.
Ooh. Listen, I got a love for a lot of people. And I don't hate Golden Tate.
I don't even love him. I don't even love him. Okay. I know Golden Tate. I think is a good dude, and I think coming from Notre Dame, I think I'm impressed with how he's been able to make his just long-standing career. He's been doing a great job. I think finding a role, it's been great because he's danced between 1 and 2. But whatever, we're not here to talk about him. As I said, you clearly, he's still on your mind. You're still carrying.
Always. I go to sleep and I picture Golden Tate. I see the
Golden, just finish your career. Just, you know what? To make this story and to finish this script off in perfect manner, Golden, I request, sign with the Packers at the end of your career.
No, don't
finish your time off with the Packers, and then literally thank Tom for helping you see the light and come to Green Bay.
Nope. Okay, you know what? You know what's going to happen now, Ryan? One of us is going to reach out to Golden Tate, and
easy.
We're going to get him on. We're going to, you know what? We're going to get Golden Tate on this podcast.
We are. We're going to get him on. Be our special guest. We're going to have guests. We're going to have awesome guests, but the special guest is going to have no correlation with.
Nope. Because I think honestly that episode will break records. That episode will because the posse knows. Me and Golden Tate, it's just we've been feuding for years. He has no idea who I am except we wish we had.
Exactly. I know. He's like, what's going on? I don't even know what I did.
One-sided feud, but. Don't worry, I'm feuding enough for the both of us. So
yeah.
Okay. I mean, I guess we'll talk about a football game that's coming up. I mean, if people are interested,
it's kind of important. It's just kind of important.
Fine, I guess. Okay. So this Sunday, in what should have been a Sunday night football game, but it's not because atrocious. That should be a primetime game right there. Brady Rodgers, get out of here.
And they still can't flex it. What's going on here?
It's 4:25, and hold on. I want to see what game is taking its spot.
Place, yeah.
It is
the Vikings.
No. Oh, wait, hold on. It's the Rams and the 49ers. Get the hell out of here.
That'll be unimpressive and underwhelming.
And you know what? I feel like we went on so many tangents. I forgot where I was going with. We were talking about competition when you asked me why I hate the Seattle Seahawks, and that turned into a 20-minute conversation. But what I was actually going to mention was the 49ers getting blown out by the Dolphins.
So
I'm looking ahead right now at this NFC, and I'm like,
thoroughly shellacked.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. And I'm like, okay, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good as a Green Bay Packers fan right now.
Yeah, I think the Packers are. I think they're arguably the best team in the league. Say what you want.
Chiefs lost. The Chiefs lost.
I just think they're arguably but even with losses sometimes don't necessarily represent.
Sure. And it's a divisional game. Sure.
Yeah. Even with that, I still think with how they're playing, I think they're arguably and when I mean arguably, I mean not really arguably, but. Sure. Arguably for public opinion, that I think they're the best team in the NFL. They're playing the best. They're performing as if the best team in the NFL, and they have the best record. So
I mean, let's put it this way, Ryan. Not to spoil anything because there's still a game this evening, so I haven't done the power rankings yet because it wouldn't be fair because there's still a game going. But who's gonna be number one this week?
Exactly. No matter who wins, so there you go.
It's
and I think it's deserving of. I don't think we're just.
We're not giving. Nothing's given here on this show, except even with the names, you got to earn that football, and
you got to earn it.
Not earn that football. And so, just like I am going to earn my emotional catharsis when Golden Tate eventually arrives on this program, there will be a catharsis here.
Yes, take responsibility. Take responsibility for for how you feel.
We'll conquer those demons. So. This Sunday, 4:25 Eastern spot, you got the Green Bay Packers heading down to Tampa. Now, I was actually talking with some Tampa Bay Buccaneers fans before this because I was doing an interview for this week.
Where are they? They're
in Tampa.
They exist. Huh.
Yeah, they do. Every now, they pop out of their holes. I think it's they say if there's more winter or spring, something like that.
Yeah, they let you know. Gotcha.
There's a lot of new ones all of a sudden.
I wonder why. They're just.
What would it call a wagon of some type that they're hopping on because Tom Brady goes.
They play instruments.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, what would you call an ensemble, an orchestra, maybe? But something like that.
It's more like a quartet because there's probably four of them.
Ooh, that's true. That is very, very true. So in that case, when it comes to the Buccaneers, apparently they're putting a few thousand fans in there. Apparently it's supposed to get up to the 15, 16,000 range. So I was like,
so capacity. Okay. So maximum capacity.
Can I tell you, I did the entire interview. It'll be out Thursday. We did this entire interview, and like it was a pretty like serious football talk. We had a good time, what have you. And the last question I turned to them and asked, I was just like, so what's it like having a pirate ship in the stadium? Because I was just like, what's that like? Like you have this, and one of the guys was like, it's really fun, it's exciting. They fire things and like they throw beads and stuff. And the other guy was just like, it doesn't matter because we don't win football games because of the pirate ship.
Yeah. No, I dig it. I will say that playing down there, it's interesting to see it. And they do like, you know what I mean? They do. They shoot out when they
shoot out beads. I mean, like, it's cool. I mean, pirate ship, like, listen, I have a very low bar. You're talking about being able to be bribed by merch. Pirate ships are like, okay. You're like, I'll go see a pirate ship. That's cool.
You got a pirate ship? Oh, I'm coming.
Yeah, that's it. Okay. You got pirate ships now. Oh, okay. No, yeah, I'll get my car. So
yeah, I'm pretty sure that's something that's I'm coming as well. If somebody tells me, yo, man, I'm doing this little thing. I got a little shindig coming on. You want to come? I'm usually that guy. I appreciate it. I got a pirate ship.
Say less.
What time? I'm coming.
Say less. I'm there.
I'm already there.
Guaranteed. Now, here's the thing. I've never.
That's how bad. Whoa, that's how bad they've been over the few years.
Yeah.
That they had a pirate ship.
That's the main attraction, essentially. That's why you're going.
They still can't get people. Geez.
No, they can't. I mean, now they can because they have Tom Brady and everything. But for how long? So here's the thing. Heading in, Rodgers mentioned this on McAvee's show.
Yeah,
I see you, Rodgers. On McAvee's show last week, and was talking about how the narrative is going to be Tom Brady versus Aaron Rodgers. And he's like, nope, it's me against the defense. It's him against our defense, etc. So I'm curious, from your standpoint as like a player, when you say that like this Sunday is Tom Brady versus Aaron Rodgers, which it's not, right? Like, let's be honest, like it's not. Do you like feel some type of way if you're not the player like on the marquee being mentioned of just like, hey, it's Brady versus Rodgers? Or are you just like, I don't care because it's the media spinning whatever they want to try and like do a program. I'm just going to go run over people.
I think me personally, I don't really care. I wouldn't care, but I also understand that it helps with the media. It's part of star power. Like at the end of the day, people need that, and they need to put it against that and make it seem like, matchups. Oh man, boom, historic and all that shit. At the end of the day. Yeah, pirate ship. To me, it's all that's like, smoke and mirrors, pirate ships. And it's like, well, guess what? There's still 11 people. Like, so like there's 10 other people that have to actually do their job, or it doesn't matter what, Aaron. So no, I think it's good for the nostalgic, historic aspect of, what I mean, and the entertainment aspect of what we do. But both sides know at the end of the day, like, let's not, you focus on that for too much, you'll actually screw yourself up a lot.
Well, I'm curious, like what I find fascinating, and this is totally off topic of what we're talking about, but it relates to what you just said. And I kind of want to go down this rabbit hole a tiny bit. So you talk about like the pageantry that's attached to the NFL, right? Yeah, because if absolutely. They do anything well, they do that very, very well, right? Yeah. They could make a game that look like utter dog crap on paper, and they're just like, look at this, like it's
boom.
This head coach went to that head coach's school and went to a class one time with him, like, and they like make it into like this big feud, and they're just like fathers, brothers, nephews, cousins, former roommate, Yeah,
they have to do backstories that try to find like what's interesting about any of these guys back, like just in general.
Yeah. So like, I'm curious from like your perspective, like does that have any, like, I don't know, like, do you have a certain feeling towards that? Or is it just like, I don't care because like I'm here to play football? Is that more of just like, this is for the fans and it has no impact on the players whatsoever?
I wouldn't say it has no impact on the players. Like, guys are human, and guys, you talk to some players, they read everything. Some players read all the press clippings and everything like that. Some players don't look at any of this stuff. It's really personal. We used to always say, like, don't give teams bulletin board, material. And what that does is don't quote unquote say things or do things to motivate them more. You know what I mean? So, and usually what that means in reference point is contextually like running your mouth, talking smack about somebody else to be like, yo, they don't respect us. Because at the end of the day, every team deserves respect because they're pros. Everybody's a pro and everybody's out here, and you can play for one team and then literally chances are there's a good chance that you could get cut and have to play for that same team next week. So
Correct. Yeah.
Everybody deserves respect in that aspect, top down. So it's really personal. I think that, some dudes are like, oh man, this is great, or blah, especially whenever personal attention comes into play, because it helps with personal branding, all these different things, any aspect. The league is so big on the shield, the identity of the shield itself, and really taking away any personal branding from that. So those opportunities are not bad, to give individuals a way to promote their whatever it may be, the backstory. But I will say the most important thing is performance across the board. Performance, win, and usually all those other things take care of themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I just think it's so fat, because like you look at some other sports who are not able to do it. I don't want to say like as well as but like they're not able to like make it up as much as like the NFL, just like with like the pageantry and like the way like it's gone into like a whole different. I mean, like you have like the week before the Super Bowl, you basically have like 2 weeks, right, in which it's literally just like package of just like build up of like, it's this guy versus this guy, it's this like, and it's just fascinating like how much of a spectacle kind of like it's become. And I don't think it's a bad thing.
No, exactly. The word spectacle might have a negative connotation. It's not. Then I totally understand where you're coming from. Listen, it's a venue. They're events, entertainment events, and with that, there's productions that have to come into play to tap into the emotional anxiety, anticipation that fans have across, with it. It's like, oh man, so like I said, the nostalgic aspect in regards to the age of Tom Brady and his performance. Sure. So there's a like almost like this, like I hate to use this correlation, but like Mount Rushmore aspect of Tom Brady. He's like, oh man, almost, he's not that old, but yes, he's like, oh man, one of the
historic, untouchable.
Yeah, exactly. It's like,
larger than life.
This guy, he's been able to withstand, like how many years worth and at a high performance. And then you have the used to be who known as like the not wild, but like young, untouchable, athletically so gifted Aaron Rodgers, but now who's transitioned into this role as the savvy vet who's now leading his team from a different, you give whatever storyline you want, and the NFL does a really good job. That's why they're the NFL. Yeah. When you can do put the best product out there on the field, and then even when the product is not necessarily like, think about it. The fact that they've been able to keep the Bengals supporting the Bengals and the Browns. The Bengals, the Browns, and the Jaguars have actually had primetime games. Really, and as a matter of fact, not because of their teams by any means. So it's been because of the players. So it's like, oh no, the fact that we have to play this up, the individuals on this team, because as a team, we recognize those teams are not performing by any means. Like outside of that year that they were at the end of AFC Championship, the Jaguars. But other than that, it's like, no, they're not. They haven't been.
That was a Thursday night game a couple weeks ago, right? You literally had the Browns versus the Bengals, and they were just like, it's Baker Mayfield versus Joe Burrow, and I was just like, oh, okay, like
okay, cool, okay, you know what I mean? And it's like, realistically, like your brain, it's hard to switch that part off because you do know historically they're not really good teams. Yeah. So it's kind of like, I'd actually rather think that. I'd rather.
It's much better just being like, oh, wow, this could be pretty good. Like,
exactly. It's actually, it's interesting thing psychologically wise, because your brain does frame it as it's a better matchup when it is, Baker's good. And Burrow's young and just on it. So it's like, oh, wow, I'd rather hear that and see them as opposed to be like, Cincinnati and Brown. What? I don't even care.
I mean, you had that too, like you said, like the Dolphins versus like the Jaguars, and they were just like Gardner Minshew's mustache versus Ryan Fitzpatrick's beard. Like that was a legit thing. Yeah. Like they brought it up on like the pre-show. They bring it up like throughout the game.
They gotta do what they gotta do, man.
That's it. They were just like, guys, we are scrambling for something to make this game interesting. But
listen, but the NFL does a good job, man, of doing whatever they can, because they know that brand because people aren't going to be like, oh man, you said people aren't going to say, oh, that game. They're going to say, yo, Thursday night football was trash, or what, you know what I mean, or that Sunday night football game was trash. It's not even about that. They don't ever want to equate the league. They don't want the league to be equated with anything that
lesser
is
than
subpar.
Yep.
Like,
exactly.
and that's the sign of a phenomenal brand.
Yeah. I mean, again, like, and you even look over the years at like some of the Super Bowls that have not been good. Like, they're just not good games to watch, right? And like, you look at that and you're just like, oof, like that's like a punch or what have you. But there's so much around it of just like, well, don't look at the terrible lopsided score. Look at the halftime show.
Yeah, like all this, they know what they're doing. You know, in games that they feel like, oh, this might be a lackluster, you know, a subpar game. Trust me, they know how to.
You're like, we're gonna air the new Star Wars trailer during the commercials. Like, no,
pirate ship.
Yeah, exactly. It just like sails into the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Just the game's a blowout, and they just like fire off the cannons but. This game coming up needs no pageantry because this should be a damn good football game. It's like that transition. That was a good transition. So what happens is you have a good defense, you know, in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, have one of the best run defenses. They lost Vita Vea, though, for the rest of the year, broke his ankle. I think Devin White fell on it. So he's out for the year, which is one of their big run stoppers. It's going to be fascinating to see like how Rodgers is going to be taking advantage of that. If Aaron Jones, because you have Vita Vea out, if like he's going to be able to, you know, find some running lanes, because we talked about this like at the Saints game. The Saints have a good run defense too, right?
Yeah.
Like, but he was able to get like, you know, some stuff. You know, Jamal Williams was really effective in like the passing game and what have you. But I think that this is going to be a real test for the Packers, not only keeping up with like the offense and Brady, because like, you know, they've gotten into shootouts. They did against the Chargers. Like that was a really, really good game. Yeah. I think that this is going to be like the toughest test yet that they have faced. And I personally like looking at this game. I'm like, if we win and win like we have been winning, that's going to be
that's big.
Big statement to the rest of the league.
No, absolutely. I think even though the Bucs record might not be where they wanted to be, but I think that they're gaining respect. And they've got a bitter taste in their mouth after this last week. So, this I expect this to be a serious get after it type of football game. Physicality is going to be really important because of the emotions around what's going to, you know, it's like you said, if we can get this done, this is actually probably the greatest test of adversity. Coming off the bye is always important. We're healthy. So how they perform is going to be really important versus, you know what I mean, what happens. So if they're able to kind of get in the groove early on, or it's going to take them a little while to work off the kinks of not, having that week off, how they adjust to that fiery little defense on the Bucs, and then how it's going to be interesting on how they adapt to the motivation that Tom's going to bring for that team, because he's pissed.
Oh yeah.
If you don't think that Tom's,
you saw that Bears game, he was ripping that offensive line a new one for all those penalties.
And I think, and part of it is self. Like, I think his frustration is, as much as he's, not that situation with not knowing it's fourth down. It's unacceptable.
Yeah.
It's totally, it's like unacceptable, like gut-wrenching, like pissed. Yeah. You're frustrated, and then in the same breath, you're like, damn it. Like, how could I, you know what I mean? So I think on all,
that's a motivated football team.
Oh yeah. Like you got a team that's ready to put their best foot forward, because that taste in their mouth is like, no, we need to go and show and prove. So this is a phenomenon, I think, because I think this is great. This is what everything we want as a Packers team is, opportunities to really put together our best football and show our best football. So this is actually the game that I'm looking forward to the most, because I think it's a good opportunity.
And I think, kind of the haters have already come out of the woodwork, because, when we're starting, like you and I, we're talking about how well the Packers are doing, how well they've looked and performed. And they're just like, well, what teams have you beaten? Right? It's the Lions, it's the Vikings, it's the Saints. And I'm like, no. Get the hell on out of here.
What does that even mean?
Get the hell on out of here. You know, these are pro football teams, right? Which last year, ain't nobody telling me that the Vikings are a bad football team or the Saints are a bad football team.
It doesn't matter. It's just
ain't happening. So here's what I'm going to say about this. I do not care what everyone outside, like in the Twitterverse or what have you, what they're saying about that. I don't care. I don't care, because here on this show, on this program, the Green Bay Packers are going to win some freaking fracking football games. And that's all that matters. I don't care who they beat. I don't care who's on their schedule.
We don't have any control over that. The Packers don't pick their schedule. What are you talking about here? So, you play the person in front of you. You know what I mean? You line up and you win your one-on-one battle. 11 one-on-ones battle, you win the game. Hey, cool. Keep it pushing. That doesn't matter. It just doesn't mean anything. I think that when you look at how you perform, that means something.
Sure. I agree.
Even though you're winning games, or even though whoever you're playing, you might not, you're not worried about that. You play who you play, who you're asked to play, and you look at how you perform. And I think that based upon that, Packers are the best team in the league on the Super Bowl. Easy.
Well, we said it once, we said it twice, we've said it all 5 weeks. We'll see you. I think it's in Tampa too. Oh, so this is actually great. I think if I'm not mistaken, is it in Tampa?
Yeah, it's in Tampa. Because now we're talking about bringing fans. Yeah, it's in Tampa.
That's true. Okay, wonderful. So this will actually be a nice, it'd be a little scouting, activity. It'll just be get a feel of playing within the stadium, because they'll be back there in February. So this actually will be some great practice for the Green Bay Packers.
Bingo. This is perfect.
That's it. I love it.
Matter of fact.
That's it. Well,
I'm trying to think if they should just have people set up shop early.
That's what I'm saying. Listen, there's crazy times going on right now.
But I'm just letting you know, you never know what's going to happen. So you got a couple months.
Set up the banners now. You know what? And just bring the Lombardi in. We'll hold on to it. It belongs home anyway. Just have it ready. You know what I'm saying? Get a head start. It's like get a head start on work. Just engrave it already.
Get ahead.
Exactly. Yeah. We're just trying to help out the workers. That's all it is. So get a head start. Just already engrave the Packers in there, and you're good to go.
Makes no sense. Yeah.
Listen, they make both shirts for both teams in the Super Bowl, right? If they're going to be Super Bowl champions.
Yeah, but we don't need to do that because we don't even know that.
Don't even bother.
Just make the Packer team.
Save the cotton.
Yes. And then you can, if you want, you can figure out whoever to play. We make a couple, but just make the Packers in bulk, and then we'll move accordingly later on.
That's it. Exactly. You know what? Ryan Grant, Tom Grossi, not only saving the economy, but also looking out for the workers.
Looking out.
People behind the scenes.
Yes. The real people. We're posse for the people.
That's it. And
Grossi posse for the people.
That's it. And listen, Ryan Grant, I know that you were in there. We were getting tagged about running for president in the last presidential debate. So, I'm just saying we're on a platform here. So that's it. 2028, it's done.
Our slogan would be, "We can help you get it done."
Actually, what we'll do is we'll have the fans decide what our slogan is going to be.
Listen, I think this is phenomenal. Can you let the people vote on what the slogan should be, what our talking points should be?
Done.
What our policies will be?
Done. That's it. That's pure democracy, baby.
There you go.
That's direct democracy at its finest. Ryan Grant, Tom Grossi. And listen, whoever is president and vice president, we'll just switch it up after 8 years and we'll do it again. Done. Easy.
There you go.
Mr. Ryan Grant, it is always a pleasure having you on, having these chats with you. Tell the people where they can find you. Also, is there any status updates about the pod?
The pod is actually doing well. We paused for logistics, just do a film, but I'm stockpiling, like I said before. So I've done 7 of them already. We just haven't released them yet because we're trying to make sure that the product we give you is the best of the best. I want to give you the best. Okay. All right. I don't want to shortchange you. No. I want your flavor palettes when it comes to the podcast, your podcast palette to be, what is it, like a We want a good red with a nice piece of steak. Yeah, just, we want it to really just be so flavorful that you want to savor it. I read something that said that, when you get done with a drink of wine, some wines, it could be minutes afterwards that you still taste it. Well, we're going for hours. we want you to literally be thinking about the podcast hours after. So
the Ryan Grant podcast, a meal for your
ever. But at Ryan Grant 25 on Twitter, Ryan.Grant at Ryan.Grant on IG, on Instagram. But yeah, the podcast is coming. It's still going well. Profits and Process coming soon.
That's it. It's a dining experience for your ear holes. That's it. What
do you mean?
That's what it's going to be. That's what it's going to be. A pleasure. You can find me at Tom Grossi Comedy on all the things and what have you.
On all the things.
All the things. You'll find me somewhere. I'll find you, really. That is a threat and a promise. So thanks so much for watching. I'm Tom Grossi. That's frickin' frackin' Ryan Grant. And as always.
Always a pleasure, brother.
Go Pack, go.
Go Pack, go.